Hey, welcome to the channel. Thanks for visiting Carl's Off-Road. Today, we're going to do the DIY diesel one more time here. We're going to give it a shot. Viewers' suggestions and comments. So, what we're going to do, I already shortened this about half of what it was in the original video, about halfway through before it fell over, if you watched that one. If you haven't, check it out. It was going well until it failed. But anyways, so what I'm going to do is try and cut it somewhere in this area. You know, we're going to shorten it as short as we can where this doesn't hit the top of the barrel here. And then, yeah, we're going to see if it works any better that way. And I'll have to get it all propped up and do some changing. This ended up coming loose, so I'm going to actually attempt to weld that in there. It's brake line or transmission line, so if you've ever attempted to weld anything like that, you know how difficult that is. But we're going to give it a shot because I had it a press fit, but now it's the heat probably got to it and loosened everything up. So got to get that sealed up so we don't have gases escaping up there. And then, yeah, we're going to go ahead and give this thing a whirl today again. And hopefully we get some better results. I'm going to take this off, dump what's left in there out, and then put a set amount in there. I'm thinking about 2 gallons. It might end up being like 2.5 gallons, but we'll figure that out when we get there. And then we'll see what kind of yield we can get out of this thing for a full run. I'm guessing we're going to get about 75% of what we put in. And yeah, so I'm going to do that, and then we'll get to it. I'll be right back with you. We're going to go ahead and remove this. Wasn't going to show you this, but I figured some people might want to see everything involved. So we're just going to remove this, and then we're going to cut it, reflare it, and then put it all back together after we get it filled back up. And that's that for the tower. And I did have steel wool packed in there, but I think it might have fell in there because I don't see it. It was right there. So, all right, well, there it is. That's as short as she can be. I could barely get it in the machine to put the flare on it, but you can see, got a new flare, got the flange on there. It's kind of like flaring a brake line. You usually forget to put that on, you know. All right, well, that's just how that's going to sit there. And you can see, I can't even get my finger under there. It's as short as it can be, so. All right. Let's dump this out and see what we actually have left in here from last time. I think I'm going to pull that gasket out. You can see that gasket got pretty beat up. It was pretty hot, so. All right, we'll dump it in this here oil drain bucket and see what we got left over. And I'm still haven't found that steel wool, so no idea where that went. Yeah, I'd say we probably had a couple gallons left in there. Started with 2.5 gallons, so. All right, so we'll put that crappy old gasket back on there. Get this put back together. And then I'll get it all set up and get everything filled up and ready. Oh, shoot. Duh. Still got to put the oil in, you big dum-dum. All right, let me go get some oil so I have a set amount to put in. All right, getting ready to add the oil here. Put a little breather in there so the oil doesn't come back out when I'm dumping it in, but I want to show you. This is reading, it says 2.5 gallons, so it's about 2.5 gallons or 8 liters. And this was some, I don't know, some diesel engine oil apparently. So we'll dump that in there. And that's what we're going to start with, and we'll see what we get for a yield. Ooh, it's thick. It's been sitting outside too, so. It's real thick. Holy moly. It's not even hardly going through the funnel. Well, I'd say we don't have any diluted oil here. This is Some thick stuff. It says 1540 on here, but who knows what it was actually drained out of. So I'll get this dumped in here. Oh, there goes my rubber hose. Yeah, saw that coming. All right, well, I'm going to deal with that, and I'll be right back with you. Well, surprisingly, I was able to get that out of there. Thankfully. If not, it just would have been turned into diesel or sludge or whatever it would turn into. All right, we're just going to pour it old school here. Go a little slow. I don't want to deal with that again. It took me 2 tries to get that out of there, but thankfully it didn't land flat in the bottom of the keg. It's going much better this way. Oh well, I guess I'll have to invest in a vented funnel. That would have worked if I could have secured that hose somehow or another. So anyways, we're putting 2.5 gallons of used motor oil in here. And, ooh, got pouring it too fast there. And we'll see how much we get out of it. Good thing it's thick. When it does get a bubble, it doesn't even splash. Make sure we get all that good stuff in there. Now, I'll be happy to have some on hand because I've been lighting my burner with just paper towels, and it's kind of just takes a little bit longer, and I'm impatient, you know. Everybody else want everything done right now. All right, and then as far as how we're going to feed it, we're just going to feed it with the regular old gravity feed system we always use. You can see it set up there. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and get the burner lit after we get it assembled here. And then I got to add some water to my homemade cooler / condenser unit. And we're going to run this batch and see what we get. So I'll bring you back once I have it lit and assembled, and we'll see what happens here. All right, well, welcome back to a different day with some improvements made from the beginning of this video. We had some issues with my welding at this point. Actually, that little line snapped right off. So I've upgraded, went to 1/4-inch black pipe coming out of here to a compression fitting to 3/8 copper now. And I just fired up the burner. We're going to continue this yield test, feeding it with the little gravity feed deal. I'll grab the camera and show you. I've got 25 foot of 3/8 copper going out of here now. Runs along and goes in to the same condenser. But now I've got 3 coils underwater. And, oops, sorry, bumping the camera off everything. So this is where we're going to collect it. And now it's about 10 feet or so away from the open flame, just to get these fumes further away for, you know, for all the safety sissies out there, as old oil burner like to say. Now, I just fired this up, like I said, so we're going to let this go for a minute. Well, probably for about a half hour or so before we start seeing any production. So I'm going to let that go, and I'll bring you back once we start getting some drips. I actually had to dump the keg back out and start over because, yeah, I had all kinds of issues with that small line. There was a little tiny piece of silicone that got stuck in the line. It built pressure, and then when it let go, boy, it let go. And yeah, so now we have bigger line, made sure everything's nice and clear, cleaned everything out. There is no longer any steel wool in that tower because, again, that when I took it apart, it was gone. I don't know where it went. So that's not working, and I'm not even sure it ever did. So I'll bring you back when I start getting some dripping action. All right, well, that took a lot longer than I thought. We're about an hour, 15 minutes into it, and we're starting to get some. It's coming in spurts. I'm thinking maybe my coils aren't exactly, you know, one higher than the other in succession there. I think I might have it where it goes up a little bit, so it's kind of not working as good as I hoped. I'll have to fix that, but I think we'll get through this run with it, and we'll see what happens. Again, if I used a higher output burner, I could definitely make this process faster, but I don't know if faster is better. So what I'm going to do is let this run, because again, it's been about an hour and 15 minutes, and getting a drip here or there, I didn't even notice. And then I looked, I'm like, oh, I got some. It's almost, I think what we got out of that first little squirt there was like gasoline or something. Oh, there's a drip, because I got some on my hands and it turned my hands white. So that other stuff, you know, the diesel kerosene blend I believe we're getting doesn't do that. It stays oily. This evaporated right off and turned my hands white, almost like brake clean or, you know, something really potent. And it didn't even smell the same. It smelled really volatile. So I don't know. Again, we got a really long run of copper, so like I said, I'm not sure if that's better or worse. It's definitely keeping the copper line nice and cool. The last time that copper line got hot all the way to the end, it actually turned the end of it black. So I'm gonna let this go, and I'll bring you back when we get a little bit of substantial amount of buildup here. But seems to be working. See you in a few. Also wanted to mention that we didn't get any water, where normally I get a bunch of water at first. This time I didn't get any. It's going straight to production, so I don't know. I'm not sure why. Maybe because I already boiled about 3/4 of that oil off. I just dumped it out, measured it back out when I put 2.5 back in. Or it could be because I have a low spot in my line and all the water's settled there. I don't know. But we'll let it run and see what happens. If we don't get any water, that's even better, man. Happy accident kind of thing. I guess that would be why people centrifuge and clean the oil very thoroughly before they start doing this process, so you don't have water and coolant and other contaminants in there, you know, other than like the heavy metals and stuff that you don't get out. You can never get it all out. But this, distilling it off like this, hey, there's a pretty good squirt. Distilling it off like this is going to prevent needing to do any further filtration, I believe. Now, there are some chemical treatments you can do, but I want to try and run it without doing all that, because the more I have to do to it, the less and less it makes it worth it. So, I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I'm going to buy. I lost the auction. I was bidding war on a little diesel motor on eBay, and I lost. I didn't even know until I went on there and checked. It didn't notify me or anything. But yeah, so I didn't get the little diesel I was after. So I'm looking for another one now. If you have something like that laying around, let me know. As long as it's within driving distance, you know. Be happy to come pick it up or even pay you something for it. So, all right, I'm gonna let this keep dripping, and I'll bring you back when we get this container full, or it stops dripping, or whatever happens first here. Well, we're getting some pretty good production now. It was coming out in the stream there for a second. But like I said, I think I definitely have a low spot in my line is what the problem is. So it's got to fill that up before it can actually come out. So, and that might be acting like a water separator too. So who knows? But I'm gonna let it run. I just wanted to throw that in there. And by no means is this a how-to video, because I honestly don't know what the heck I'm doing. I've just been experimenting with this and seeing what works the best, what works, what doesn't. You know, that's what it's all about. I'm trying to save a buck kind of deal. And I have tons of this stuff laying around. And it doesn't cost me anything to run this thing. Like I said, that little blower takes like 19 watts. So it could run all day long. And it's less than your average light bulb running, you know what I mean? So it's definitely not an issue running the blower. And I get all the oil free. So if I can make something out of it, I'm going to. All right, that's enough rambling. right, well, I had to get out the big blower, man, for this big still, but it's got pretty good production going now. So it just needed more heat. I couldn't get, I mean, I was getting production, but it was taking forever, man. So this is with the big blower, same burner, just definitely puts out way more heat. So I'm gonna let this continue running like this. It's coming out nice and clean. I did get some dirt in it and spilled some water in it. But it's coming out clean as far as what's coming out of the still now. So I think we got a winning combination here. I mean, you can see the production. It takes a few seconds and it squirts out. I'm guessing that's because I have one of my loops is lower than the next one somehow. I don't know. I just, like everything, just kind of stuck it in there. And we're going to let her eat. But I think it might actually be working to my advantage by holding it in the cold water longer. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And this is still the first bucket. So when this one gets full, I'll bring you back when I switch it. If we even get that far. Either way, I'll bring you back when the run is either done or we need to switch it. See you in a bit. Alright, little update. We're getting real good production now. It's coming out pretty steady. A little bit surgy, but going well. So I'll have to see how much we get total. But we're just over halfway full on this first gallon jug here. It's ice cream, Purple Cow, whatever. Not sponsored. But anyways, so I'll let this run until she's full and then we'll switch it over. I just wanted to show you guys how much production we're getting right now. Definitely coming out really good. And I'm not seeing any water in there either. There's a little bit of sludge and there's some dirt and water in there for me because I was stirring around the condenser to try and keep the lines nice and cool. And I accidentally splashed it over the top here. It just came right over the corner and whoop, landed right in there. Not much. I'm not too worried about it. Probably get more than that at the pump, honestly. So, but yeah, I'm gonna let this run and then I'll switch it over. All right. Well, we got about 3/4 of a gallon in that one, and the only reason I stopped is because, man, these ice cream tubs are pretty sketch, and I want to be able to pour it out of there without losing half of it, you know. Come out real nice. I'm gonna run it through the centrifuge, like I said, but I just caught some in this jar here to kind of show you how nice and clean that is, man. I could not be happier with the product that I'm getting. I cranked it up to 10 over there so we can try and finish off whatever's left in that keg, and I'm really, really hoping that it doesn't burn through, because if it does, kablooey. But yeah, I'm gonna run it right to the end for you guys. So this video probably won't come out till Saturday because, well, this takes forever, man. Well, all right. We ended up with about 1.25 gallons. And that's on the conservative side. Maybe a little more, but we'll just call it that. Burned 4 gallons of fuel to heat it and distill it. So 4 gallons to heat it, 2.5 put in the keg, 1.25 out. Might not be worth it to some, but to me, it's completely free. And if the world keeps going the way it is, pretty soon you won't be able to get it. So I'll be happy to know that I can make my own. That's basically where I'm at with it. I'm not going to use it right now, obviously, but if I need it, I know I can make it. Might not be the greatest yield in the world, but some's better than none. So just want to thank y'all for watching, and if you haven't already, like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.